hello, you fool, I love you. Come on, join the joyride.
I'm Jeremy Kroeker with Elle West in Wales. Do you know where we are, Elle?
We're in a fairy tale.
I hit the road out of nowhere, had to jump in my car, be a rider in a love game, following the stars. Don't need a book of wisdom, I get no money talk at all. She has a train going downtown, she's got a club on the moon, and she's telling all her secrets in a wonderful balloon. She's the heart of the fun fair, she got me whistling a private tune. And it all begins where it ends.
Motorcycling in Wales is amazing.
And she's all my magic friend. She says, hello, you fool, I love you. Come on, join the joyride. Join the joyride. She's a flower.
If you watched our last few videos, you know the story. But in summary, Elle and I flew from Canada to England for the Overland event near Oxford. After a quick side trip to Paris, we returned to England, hopped on a couple of motorcycles generously provided by Patty Tyson, organizer of the Overland event. We visited Tiffany Coates near Land's End, Cornwall, and then set out for Wales. As usual, we didn't really have a plan, so we just picked Cardiff, the capital of Wales, as our first stop. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any place to stay. We had arrived on a bank holiday weekend and in the middle of Pride celebrations. Now, Elle and I are both supporters of the Pride movement, love is love people, but the downside was that we could not find a hotel. When we finally located what may have been the only room available in the city, I just went ahead and booked it. It was well above our normal price range, and I knew that this would irritate Elle, so I just didn't tell her what it cost. Did I tell you about the good news and bad news?
You told me some stuff. Yep.
It's mostly good news.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You want to reinforce that some more, do you?
Yep. So good. Good news. Good news. Good. Place to stay. I told her the next day, but I had to buffer the bad news by reminding Elle of all the money we had saved so far. We're still traveling relatively inexpensively because we have free motorcycles, thanks
Yep.
to Patty Tyson of Overland Events.
Free gear to wear on those motorcycles, thanks to Patty Tyson.
We had a very affordable train ride from
Yeah.
England to France.
Thanks to Patty Tyson and friends.
Yep. So the Overland event has really kind of been good to us, and we spent free nights with Patty, and we spent free nights with Tiffany.
Yeah.
And so
On the beach in Porthcurno.
Yep.
With Tiffany Coates.
So we're spending a lot of money here, but also it's going to average out to being an affordable holiday, I think. Let's see if we can avoid spending £180 tonight.
Is that what you spent?
The parking was not free.
What?
Yeah,
You paid how much for parking?
£10.
On top of 180.
No, on top of 170, so it adds up to £180. But we had a great breakfast. Wasn't the breakfast amazing? Good breakfast. It really was a great breakfast. After that, we left our motorcycles at the hotel and took a walk over to the Cardiff Castle for a brief tour. Back on the bikes, we pointed them towards Snowdonia National Park and chose our route more or less at random. My reasoning went like this. If we ride towards a part of the country that we know is beautiful, we'll probably encounter a beautiful country along the way. And we did. We found ourselves in Brecon Beacons National Park, right at the trailhead for the Four Waterfalls Walk. I'd never heard of that, but it sounded nice. We found a bed and breakfast close by and set out for a walk to the falls. We only went to 3 of the 4 waterfalls, but this one was our favorite.
control?
No.
Come on.
On the hike back, Elle and I had a profound conversation about our relationship and the very nature of love itself. In a moment of terrifying clarity, the universe opened up to both of us, unlocking mysteries that had intrigued and confounded the sharpest philosophical thinkers throughout the ages. Sadly, our microphones failed to capture any of it, and the wisdom imparted to us momentarily has faded as though waking from a dream, lost forever. In the morning, I rigged up some better camera mounts. Zap straps to the rescue. Just like a proper KLR mechanic. You know, Elle, the other day somebody commented on my YouTube channel and they said some kind of unkind things about me.
What'd they say?
Well, they said some things that are kind of accurate but unkind. They called out my inability to be a proper mechanic on a KLR 650.
When did you say you were a proper mechanic on a KLR 650?
That's right. Well, I think today no trolls could possibly have any critiques about my mechanical abilities. As you can see, look at that. I know my way around zap straps. The highlight, I think, of today's adventure will be the roads. We're going towards a feature that I found on my Maps program. It's called the Devil's Nasal Cannula.
Come on, Jeremy.
Well, it's called the Devil's something. I think it's the Devil's Nasal Cannula.
Get out of here. Can you be done now?
Okay. Here we go.
What's it called?
It's called the Devil's Staircase. Leaving the B&B, we chose another point on the map based on the merits of its name alone. Anything called the Devil's Staircase must be cool, right? Well, it was just two sharp switchbacks, nothing to write home about, but the ride to and from the Devil's Staircase made it all worthwhile.
She says hello, you fool, I love you. Come on, join the joyride. Join the joyride. She says hello, you fool, I love you. Come on, join the joyride. Be a joyrider.
At one point on the ride, I was out front, and I pulled over at a vantage point to film Elle as she rode past. Unbeknownst to me, Elle, who was riding behind me, had also pulled over and stopped. As I waited for her to round the bend, she was off her bike, taking photos and video of a standing stone. Meanwhile, I was getting impatient, then cranky, then downright poopy pants. When Elle finally caught up, she found me sulking like a 4-year-old who had just been bitten by a Shetland pony. It took a while for me to get over myself, but eventually I did. I think the riding helped.
I'll take you on a sky ride, feeling like a spellbound. Sunshine is a lady, hugs you like a baby. She says hello, you fool, I love you. Come on, join the joyride. Join the joyride. Hello, you fool, I love you. Come on, join the joyride. Join the joyride. Hello, you fool, I love you. Come on, join the joyride. Be a joyrider. Rock set.
Once more, Elle and I found ourselves in a remote location and without a plan.
Hi. What's happening, Jeremy?
Well, we're in a quaint Welsh town. It's beautiful. I don't know what the name of the town is. Do you know?
Tregaron.
That's right. But
Probably
there's
pronouncing it wrong.
no room at the inn here, nor is the room above the coffee shop. It's all booked up.
There was a place that she phoned and said they could give it to us for 200 and something, 240 pounds a night, and we said no.
Can't do that. So what are we learning here traveling in Wales without booking ahead? Because that is our habit, is to never book ahead. Nine times out of 10, that's fine.
You assume we are learning something.
Yeah, that's right. I shouldn't make that assumption.
What experience are we having?
The experience that we're having is finding one frustrating hotel seeking experience after another.
We did find a place that was totally off-grid and really groovy and beautiful and had a super friendly host that was really likable, another motorcyclist that was there. It was self-catering, and what that means is you got to bring your own food. we are not traveling with food. We are traveling with 1 bag each. So we needed food.
Yeah, and what I'm discovering now is that if you don't book hotels in advance in Wales, you end up being forced to make some hasty decisions.
Yeah, I thought that it was busy because of the bank holiday. It was a long weekend, but it's Tuesday today. The weekend's over. I thought everything would be groovy now that the weekend's over. And we're still finding places that are all booked up.
Oh, and what are we finding about getting dinner?
So last night we tried to go out for dinner. We walked around to the waterfalls and then we went into town to find the pub. There's 3 pubs in town. All of them were closed for food. They could still have drinks, but no food. So we asked, that's weird, 8:30 at night, already closed. Okay, so we asked where the closest food was. We got on the highway and rode all the way to the next town to find a KFC.
There was a KFC and a McDonald's, and so that's what we ate.
What?
So, and what did we find when we stopped for dinner here?
We said, it's early and I'm hungry. It's basically lunch, kind of dinner. And we asked for food, and he said, oh no, we don't start serving until 6.
So if you want to eat, you cannot eat before 6, but you also cannot eat after 8.
Yeah.
That's the time that we're eating.
Apparently.
Deal with it. Yeah. So, but we also haven't seen a lot of Wales, so we're not making a judgment on the entire country, but also we're having a great time. Like, the country itself is wonderful. The people are fantastic. The riding now.
We had beautiful riding today.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
So even though we're griping a little bit right now, it's just because of lack of preparation on our part.
True story.
And lack of understanding of local customs and cultures.
Very different than France, where dinner starts at 10 p.m.
Yeah. We're sitting outside a little square in this town that I don't know the name of.
Cut his head off. At least show his head. Whoever that guy is, there's his head.
And now we booked a hotel in the neighboring village because there was nothing here.
Henry Richard.
Okay. Ready to go for a motorcycle ride?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
With no rooms available in Tregaron, Elle and I did something that we almost never do. We looked online, found a hotel nearby, and called ahead to book a room. We chose the Black Lion Hotel in Lampeter. It was a short, lovely ride, and the hotel and pub were fantastic.
My little thing worked.
And stayed on all day today?
Stayed on, and it was aimed properly, and it was really nice and steady. What are you going to do with that, trolls?
You want to tempt him, don't you?
The next morning, alas, we had to return to Oxford, England, to prepare for the Overland event. Now, I know I keep mentioning the Overland event, and this is not a sponsored video, but dear viewer, do yourself a favor. Look up the Overland event online. If you can, join them one day for a visit, and when you do, say hi to Patty Tyson for me. And so we never made it to Snowdonia National Park, which I understand is one of the crown jewels in Wales. With only 3 nights to spare, we barely dipped our toes into the beautiful waters of this country. It might have helped if we had done some planning as well. For now, it's time to say farewell to Wales. It is a country practically built for motorcycles. Elle and I had a great time, and one day we must return.
Do you know where we are, Elle?
We're in a fairy tale.
We're-
I think I just spit at the camera. Can
Yeah.
you do that again?
And also, I just took my earplug out when you did that.
Okay. Retake.
No, we're keeping that all in. Do you know where we are?
We're in a fairy tale.
We are approaching the Devil's Toilet Brush.
God damn.